Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Inner Healer. It's your girl Shakri, and today we're going to be talking about angel number 555 and a 5. So angel number 555. Have you been seeing 555? All right, we're going to get you right though. Comment down below change, comment down below freedom, comment down below anything that has to do with the number 5. Anything that you can think of when you think of the number 5. I think of change, freedom. So when you see this number, it means that change is about to happen. Change is happening. Change. Everything is changing. It's time to break down the old and bring in the new. It's actually right now, today is October 8th. It is actually 8:18 a.m. So the full moon actually just happened. I was outside at the full moon, and I figured, like, what would be a better time to do angel number 555? Change is coming. It's time to break down some things. It's time to kill off the old and bring in the new. Everything that is supposed to come in is supposed to come in for the better. So that's what I think of. Like, it was just like the perfect time to do angel number 555 video, right? Because every other video is pre-recorded, so everything else that you're getting is probably from months ago. But this right here that you get is actually October 8th. It is the day of the full moon. The full moon actually just happened. You hear the birds chirping outside. You hear everything happening. Everything is happening as a synchronicity. The birds are chirping to let you know that everything that you wanted from that full moon is actually going to come through. And this video is timeless, so whenever you see it, it does mean that it doesn't necessarily have to be that the full moon just happened for you, but it could actually mean that a new moon is coming. So time out with the old, in with the new beginnings are coming, change is coming, positive things are coming. The birds chirping just let you know that everything is falling into alignment the way that everything is supposed to happen. I think you can hear the birds. If you can't hear the birds, then the birds are chirping, the wind is blowing, the leaves are blowing. So that just means that a shift is happening in the universe right now. Number 5 goes with Mercury. Mercury changes very often. Mercury is the fastest moving planet. So everything that's happening is going to happen like rapid. Like, things are just, you're not probably going to even notice the change until it happens. Like, that's how fast it's going to happen. Everything is just going to come full circle. Whatever you've been manifesting, praying on, wishing for, it's coming, and it's going to come to you in the wrapped up in a package the way that you actually wanted it. Also, if change is happening right now, don't try to force it. Don't try to, like, not let it come in, because it's going to come, and it's going to come the way that it's supposed to come. Maybe you pray for patience, and patience is coming by testing your patience. Like, maybe you have a crying baby. I don't know. I don't know. You have something that you wanted to change about yourself, and you're looking at it as, oh, I didn't ask for this. But in all actuality, you have to be specific on things that you want. So if you want patience in a certain area, you have to ask for patience in that certain area. If you want overall patience, yes, you ask for overall patience. But the thing that you have to do is be very specific, because the universe doesn't know, like, specifics. The universe is, okay, you ask for patience, I'm going to send you a ton of things to see if you're patient enough to accept the patience that you're asking for. It's fall outside right now. Go take an adventure. 5 to me signifies adventure. Even if you're just going for a walk around your neighborhood, look at the leaves that are on the ground. There's different color leaves. The leaves are the color of my shirt. Like, the leaves signify not the signification, but the leaves under your feet, the crunching under your feet. Just smell the air, smell everything that's going on. Pay attention to everything that's going on all around you. Listen to the bird chirp, hear the leaves crackling under your feet, feel the wind as it's blowing, listen to the airplanes as they're flying over your head, listen to the cars as they beep their horns. Everything, pay attention to the squirrels as they go past you. Pay attention to everything, because those are your spirit guides, your spirit animals, your spirit just bringing in that change that you need. But you have to pay attention to it. The wind, that's air. That's the air element. Like, everything just has to coincide. And then when I say air, 5 with Mercury, remember 5 is the number for Mercury, but also Mercury rules over Gemini. Gemini is air. So just everything coincides all together at the same time. Just pay attention to everything that's happening. If you're seeing this video, that's me telling you to go outside and take a walk. Go take a walk. Get outside. Stop staying in the house. I'm talking to myself too. When you see angel number 555, that's your angels letting you know that you're changing. Growth is happening. You're growing. You're like the butterfly. The butterfly changes from inside the cocoon to flying around. So that's freedom. Freedom coming out of a cage where you had to grow. Remember, they say in order to elevate, you have to isolate. Okay, so you were in isolation long enough. Now it's time for you to elevate. Be like that butterfly and go fly. Go explore. Go on that adventure I was talking about. Even if it is around your neighborhood, just go. You're going to see something that you were asking for when you go out in that air. When you go out and just pay attention to nature, something is going to come to you, and it's going to be something that came to you because you were outside. Because you were letting that sun shine down on your head, because you were letting that air just touch your face, because you were letting those leaves crunch up under your feet. Change is happening. You are growing. Also, remember what I said when I said that don't force it or anything. Just let it happen. You could have been trying to avoid something from happening. You can't avoid the universe making a change. You can't avoid the universe forcing you to grow. It's time to grow up. Maybe somebody is going through their Saturn return right now. I know I went through my Saturn return, and we're going to talk about that in another video, because the Saturn return, I wouldn't say that it kicked my butt, but I definitely am going to say that I am feeling the effects of what Saturn actually did in my life right now. I'm seeing the fruits of my labor that I put in during my Saturn return. So now I am benefiting from that. So, and the funniest part about angel number 555, I only started seeing 555 at the beginning of my Saturn return. This is when I didn't even know what a Saturn return was. But I just knew that things were just happening. They were happening rapidly. They were just coming at me from all different forces. During my Saturn return, I was pregnant 4 times. Only 2 babies survived. So that was something that was significant. I started seeing red cardinals. I started having my ancestors come talk to me. Like, so many different changes were happening during my Saturn return. And I had started, like I said, that's when I first started seeing 555. And I never correlated it until, like, remember, hindsight is 2020. So when you're thinking back, and I'm like, wow, I was seeing 555 that entire time. And Taurus, the Uranus in Taurus was happening in my 5th house at the time. I had, like I said, 4 pregnancies, 2 survived, and the 2 that survived were my unconventional pregnancies. Those were my buck at the system. Uranus, buck. Taurus, build stability. Taurus, starting everything from the ground up, like building, just being grounded. I had 2 unassisted pregnancies, and they were unassisted births. So that was something that happened in my 5th house. That was a change. That was something different than what I was used to. I never had a baby at a hospital. I always had birth center births, but those babies were born at home, just my husband and I. So that was a major change. And that's just something that I correlate when I see 555 also, because that's something that happened in my life that was very significant. Like I just was telling about my stories about my pregnancies. 555 also for me is liberation. Just feeling that you can do something. Just feeling liberated. Just feeling like you have the power to take your life into your own hands. I am not giving medical advice on anything, because my story is my story. Someone else's story is going to be their story. But I knew that I was ready, and I knew that I was in a position and educated enough to do exactly what my body was meant to do. And that's exactly what we did. We had our babies at home, and that was just me feeling liberated after both times. It's time for you to be happy. Your happiness depends on your freedom. The amount of freedom that you give yourself is the amount of happiness that you can have. Also, during my Saturn return, when I was seeing all of those 5s, I quit my job. I have not worked at, because I work, obviously. I'm a stay-at-home mom and wife. I have not punched a clock. Feeling liberated. Your freedom depends on your happiness. I have not punched a clock since 2017. February 4th, 2017 was the last time that I punched a clock. That was me feeling liberated. That was me thinking of happiness for my family. That was me thinking, well, not me all by myself. That was that was a choice that my family decided to make, that we were going to have a one income household and I was going to stay home and teach the children. And that's exactly what we did. So also when I see 555, remember I said 5 rules over Mercury. Mercury rules over Virgo and Gemini. Gemini is the house of early learning. It depends on early learning. I literally am the homeschool teacher of my children. So 5 is really significant. I was born on the 23rd of the month. So 5 also, like 5 is just a really significant number in my life. So I notice 5s a lot more now, and there's always change happening in my life. I am Scorpio dominated also. Scorpio is one of my big 3. So death and rebirth is a reoccurring theme in my life. My composite chart with my husband, we are Scorpio rising. So death and rebirth within our relationship is always something that's happening also. So just transformation, death and rebirth, not death in the sense of the literal sense. It could be, but this is in the sense of, when I think of the full moon from last night, it was basically, and I see it too, killing off the ego and having to live in your purpose. Like, you can be an egomaniac, or you can go ahead and live in your purpose and be way more fulfilled. Remember, your happiness depends on your freedom. Be free from the ego, and then you can live way more happy. Remember from earlier, I was saying you were looking for a sign, you asked for this, you prayed for this or something. Well, you were looking for a sign, and it actually is showing up now. You're on this video, so it's showing up for you. You're supposed to be seeing this video. You're supposed to be hearing the messages that are within this video. I can only give you something from my life standpoint, but there's so many different things that the 5 signifies. There are some things that you could be brushing under the rug, and they're not supposed to be brushing under the rug. You're actually supposed to face these things head on. So it's time to face something head on. Stop avoiding it, because the more you avoid it, the more it gets brushed under the rug, the more that it starts to pent up inside of you, the more that maybe you get bloated, maybe you get some kind of dis-ease going on within you, like bloating in the belly, or just blowing up, like just face getting puffy, bumps coming out of your face. Everything that's happening inside of you will come out. So just don't avoid it. Just let it happen. It could also mean that you are seeking some kind of fulfillment in your life. So just assess yourself. Do a temperature check. Make sure that everything is everything. If you're looking for some kind of fulfillment, then now this is your sign to go for it. So remember, the number 5 rules over Mercury. So when I think of Mercury, I also think of like bookstores, libraries, things like that. Maybe it's time for you to take a trip to a bookstore. Maybe it's time for you to shop online. Go on Amazon, look for a book. And wherever you stop, you were led to that exact book. So just go walk the aisles in the bookstore, walk the aisles in the library. And wherever you feel like you pay attention, because you will hear stop. It's here, or something like that. And you stop there and you look to the left or the right. Ask left or right. They'll tell you left or right. Your guides are there, so they'll tell you left or right. And then you'll see whatever book you are supposed to be seeing at that time. That's how powerful the universe is. Okay, so now we're going to talk about relationships. Maybe a relationship is coming in, or a change is happening within your relationship. Remember, like I said, we're in Scorpio season right now. We just had the blood full moon. So a transformation in your relationship, a change in your relationship. Maybe things were toxic before, and maybe they're just coming together. Like there's some peaceful harmony coming in. Remember, it was the Taurus full moon. So maybe everything is starting to come together. Maybe y'all are supposed to be building on that stability now. Now it's time for you to be wined and dined, because Taurus is like, bourgeois. So an expansion can be happening in your family also. Maybe someone's pregnant. It could be that you're pregnant. Maybe you're about to adopt. Something is happening where there's going to be an expansion happening in your family. I say this because, remember, I said I have to relate everything back to myself. I can only give it to you from my perspective. When Uranus was happening in my 5th house. Well, it's actually still happening in my 5th house. My light just went out. So if it got darker, it's okay. My light just went out. But Uranus was actually transiting my 5th house when I kept getting pregnant. And then I bucked at the system and went about it the unconventional way. But these were like, we weren't planning. We weren't trying to, well, I guess you're trying to if you don't prevent it, but that's neither here nor there. But these were happening that we felt like the most unconventional time. The last pregnancy happened during 2020. Everybody knows what was happening during then. So we're like scrambling, like, oh my goodness, we're about to have a baby. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Like, that was another reassuring factor to me that I didn't need to go outside of my house in order to get care for my pregnancy. That's just a personal choice. But when it was the height of the pandemic, I wasn't trying to be around anybody. And 555 was happening again. I kept seeing it. And then my anniversary came in the summer of 2020 and my period did not come. I knew what it was. We already knew what was happening. We knew that we had to plan for another baby to come. And funny enough, the baby that came during that time has a loaded fifth house. Go figure, right? So when you see 555, this is not something that's like a small change. This is like a major life change that's happening. Remember, I said a baby, that's a major life event. You could be moving states. That's a major life event. You could be changing careers. That's a major life event. You could be meeting your life partner. That's a major life event. Things could be ending with your life partner. That's a major life event. You could be getting married, life partner, anything, because everybody doesn't believe in marriage and that's your prerogative. But something major is happening. When you see 555, these are not like any small changes like, oh, well, I'm going to change the route that I go to work today. But it could be that. Maybe you got that inclination to change the route that you went today, and then you find out on the news that a major accident happened on the highway that you usually take, but you took a detour today. So everything is happening for a reason, and that is a major life event because you could have been involved in that crash, and then who knows. So major life events are happening when you see 555. Nothing is small. It's always something that's coming through and that's going to shift some things around. So let's get into some affirmations to say when you see angel number 555. These are some that I say. You could say them, but comment down below any affirmations that you say when you see 555. Do you even say affirmations when you see 555? Just let me know down in the comments. Sound off. So affirmation number 1, I welcome change. I welcome change. You want to welcome this change because, like I said, anything that you try to fight against, like it's like a push and pull type of thing. Like you're going to be stuck in a limbo for a long time. Like you don't want to keep on being stuck in a limbo. Just let it happen. Let it flow. Let it go. It's going to happen anyway, whether you're for it or against it. Just let it happen. Everything that happens for you. It doesn't happen against you. Like we have to really get into the mindset that everything is happening for us. Affirmation number 2. I feel liberated. You feel liberated when you see this because something major is happening for you. Like I said, everything is happening for you. It's happening for you. So you are being liberated. The universe is working for you. It's not working against you. Your guides are working with you. So everything that you pray for, everything that you want, it's coming to you. Be welcome. Welcome it in. And then the last affirmation number 3, I choose freedom. Number 5 is freedom. Be free to do whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever it is that you want to do, be free with it. Because when you be free, you're happy. You're more happy when you choose freedom. When you choose yourself, you're more happy. So do everything that will work in tandem with you so that it can work in tandem with your family. We are the matriarchs of our house. Well, I'm the matriarch of my house. So any change that I decide to make, I have to make it to coincide with my family. Everybody has to be in agreement of it. But again, I'm going to choose happiness first. I'm going to choose freedom first. Okay. Now, that's my video on 555. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.